You are welcome, highly welcome, my good people, to yet another program, to yet another exposition from your darling channel, the People's Republic. My name remains Supply, your anchorman. Let's say one or two things about the terrible election that took place on the 25th of February 2023, particularly the presidential election. The election was nothing but a sham. The election was nothing but a selection instead of it being an election. There is a regulation and guideline for the conduct of that election. The process was totally in disarray. Nobody, not even the umpire, decided to follow the principle with which they themselves set apart for the conduct of that election. It is an apology. We need to look at the details one after the other. Please carefully follow us. First, number one, let's consider the Electoral Act of 2022, section 42, subsection 1, that says the Commission shall prescribe the format of the ballot papers, which shall include the symbol adopted by the political party of the candidate and such other information as it may require. They shall adopt the symbols and any other that they may deem fit as an information for us to know. The place that I voted is only the logo that are put on the ballot papers, and every political party is identified, is known by two information. First, the logo, which the Electoral Act 2022 called symbol, the logo, and the name of the party, at least the acronym, the abbreviation of the names of the party. It was some major political parties that their logo carries their acronym, like the PDP, like APC, and some other political parties who have stayed for a very long time, who has faced election for a very long time, that they include their acronym, the abbreviation of their political names inside their logo. That is the one you can see immediately. But if you want to vote for other political parties, you find it very difficult to identify. That is the first state of rigging. To tell you how important the name as the symbol is, let's go to section 79 of the Electoral Act 2022, subsection 1 and 2. It says, the Commission shall keep a register of symbols and names for use at elections. I repeat, section 79, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022. The Commission shall keep a register of symbols and names for use at elections. It shows, and it's obvious here, that the underlying word here is symbol and name. None is only the symbol that was used, and some of the aged electorate find it very difficult to know which they want to vote for. We experienced a lot of that where I voted in my polling unit. That is the first starting of the rigging. Let's consider another section in the same Electoral Act. First of all, before we even mention that, the interesting part of the Electoral Act 2022 was the possibility of transmitting the election result, the accreditation number, from the polling unit to the IREV that interests everybody. The major thing that interests everybody in that very election is just that. But unfortunately, it wasn't carried out like that. Section 47, subsection 3. He said, where a smart card reader or any other technology device deployed for accreditation of voters fail to function in any unit, and a fresh card reader or technological device is not deployed, the election in that unit shall be cancelled and another election shall be scheduled within 24 hours. What is the function of the technological device? First, to accredit. 2, to scan. 3, to transmit the result to the IREV. That makes it functional. If fall short of one of those 3, it means it's not functional. The election stands null and void. We should be able to get this right. That section 47 subsection 3 make it very clear that if it fails to function, that election will be null and void. Now let's go to another section which is very critical. After the presiding officer, it might be a little bit confusing. Presiding officers is the person in charge of your polling unit. He does the count and the announcement of the election results at the polling unit, and after which he will now, the same person is responsible to transmit the same result to the IREV. Now section 60 subsection 5 make it very clear that the presiding officer shall transfer the result, including the total number of accredited voters and the result of the ballot, in a manner prescribed by the commission. The questions remain: which manner prescribed by the commission? If you go into the regulations and guideline for the conduct of this very election we are talking about, 2022, clause 38 mentioned beavers transfer or transmit to the IREV. Mentioned beavers to upload and scan copy of the EC8A to the INEC result viewing portal IREV. None was done. Now let's assume the presiding officer did not do it for one reason or the other, did not transmit for one reason or the other. He must have scanned, because people will not allow him to leave a polling unit. He must have scanned, but for one reason or the other did not transfer or transmit the result into the IREV. Let's assume he didn't do that. The result was moved from there to the World Collation Center. Section 64 of the Electoral Act 2022 subsection 4 made something very clear, and it says a collation officer or a returning officer at an election shall collate and announce the result of an election subject to his or her verification and confirmation that the 1. Number of accredited voters stated on the collated result are correct and consistent with the number of accredited voters recorded and transmitted directly from the polling unit. 2. The votes stated on the collated result are correct and consistent with the votes or result recorded and transmitted directly from the polling unit. That section 64 of the Electoral Act 2022 and subsection 4 is simply saying that no collation officer should collate anything unless he himself or herself verified and confirmed that the result that was brought from the polling unit is the same result that was transmitted. Because as at that point, we are expecting the collation officer and or the returning officer to assess IREV, check it, and see that what was given to him was the same result that was transmitted into the IREF before he or she start collating. This is where the rigging comes all together. And yet, the collation officers at the ward level started the collation without not checking. And even when you check, the thing did not open and you are still collating. There is no alternative to that. You wait. Some persons, they surprised me so much. They applauded the result just because it favored their party. Is that why we belong to political parties? To lie? So, if you ask the opinion of People Republic, I will tell you the election ought to have been cancelled, ought to have been thrown away. The INEC chairman ought not to have announced any result at all, knowing fully well that the condition which he himself signed and sent to the political parties were not met, and yet he went on to announce. We are not bothered. You all know you know me to be obedient. Yes, I'm not obedient because People's Republic are not obedient because we know Obi. We keep on saying it. We are not holding any party card. We don't have any card. We don't have any affiliation to Labour Party. I don't know who is in Labour Party other than Obi. As far as we are concerned, we approved Obi not because we hold the party card as we've been emphasizing. We only pick Obi because Obi pronounces some things during the electioneering campaign of the good things he wants to do for the country. That's all. We have never met Obi in any form. I as a person, Supply, has never met Obi either in my dream or in any way. But we are saying that let's do what is right. Just like what Pa Adebanjo said of the Afenifere. He said if Tinubu really is the winner of the election and president of the country, it will profit him as an individual because he will be close to the president than Obi. What he's fighting for is that at this age of Nigeria, let's do what is right. And that is the stand we in People's Republic are taking. We should not applaud, clap hand when something is evil, and we manage evil. We will manage the evil, and evil will continue to be perpetuated within the society, and will continue to grow tentacles, and it will go to a level where we cannot eradicate it any longer. That is what we are saying. Let's do what is right. That is what we're saying. So, as far as we are concerned, the election is a sham, and the election ought to have been nulled and void. We are waiting for the judiciary to come up and tell us whether the election is okay or not. Right now, we want to say that it is not the election that is under trial here. It is the judiciary that is under trial. And we want to see how the judiciary is going to uplift their name from the way it is right now to the way it ought to be. We are waiting, and we will be here. People's Republic will follow it, and we are ready to follow the result to educate Nigerians on the way it is. Thank you very much. We are happy we finally satisfy our friends and followers who asked for it. That is our own interpretation. We don't need Jesus Christ, or we don't need Prophet Muhammad to come, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We don't need him to come and explain this thing. These simple regulations that we wrote by ourselves, difficult to interpret, and we abuse it. We don't need anybody. So, fellow Nigerians, we're very happy if you can help us to subscribe onto our channel. Don't let the whole thing go. If you know that you would like us to come on further to say more things about other issues that are bedeviling this country, please subscribe onto our channel and encourage us. Thank you very much, and we hope to give other informations next time.